what I'm going over and then give you a little quiz to see if you paid attention or not. Okay? I have a few things on the board behind me that I want to talk to kids about, especially this class. Okay? First of all, I have up here PS and isolate the variable, ISO. PS. PS means problem solver. Be a problem solver. Okay? So, first of all, identify the problem and then say, well, what is the problem? If it is my grades, then is it because I'm doing bad on the tests? Is it because I'm missing too much school? Is it because I don't like the material being taught? Okay? You should know right now, when I talk about PS, it means problem solver. If I talk about BS, that means brainstorming. That's totally different. If I say we're going to sit here and BS, that means we're going to brainstorm. We're going to think of ideas and kind of come up with answers for those. Okay? When you are a problem solver, the steps are, I just went over this in my technology class. When we fix things, you isolate the variable. Okay? So, I have ISO on the board. ISO or isolate means isolate the variable. If you look right over here, isolating the variable in algebra means solving for that variable. A variable can be a letter, X, it could be a circle, it could be a square, a triangle. It's basically anything but a number. You've got numerals and you've got variables. So in algebra, if I'm solving for the variable 3x plus 6 equals 18, I would use inverse operations. Opposite. Opposite of addition is subtraction. Okay? If we subtract 6 from both sides, now we have 3x equals 12. Now inverse operation, this is 3 times x equals 12. Isolate the variable. This is 3 times x. Opposite of times is division. So we divide both sides by 3. When we are left with just the variable on this side of the equation, because if we multiply a number by 3 and then turn around and divide it by 3, we're left with just x. These canceled each other out. So now we have x equals 12 divided by 3, which equals 4. Okay? The reason I'm telling you this is because as we get into some problem solving, you want to isolate the variable. Okay? Not in a numeric or algebraic sense, but if there is a problem. For instance, some kids came to me this morning today and said, we have this PowerPoint set up, it worked up at the high school, we presented at the high school, we came here, and we can't get it to work. And I said, Mrs. Webb should know how to do that, setting to go on a PowerPoint and set it up with a projector, and there is 3 problems. There's basically either the projector's not getting the signal, or the cord is not sending the signal from the laptop to the projector, or the laptop's not finding that signal and sending it out. I said, so when you solve a problem, you find a known good laptop. I know this one works. We tried it in my room. This laptop works. Take it in there, and it doesn't work. Then we go, well, still doesn't work. That worked in there, so we know it's not the laptop's problem. Let's try the cord. Here's a cord we had in my classroom that worked. It's a known good cord. So we take that and we hook it up, laptop to the projector. If it still doesn't work, you say, okay, now we're down. We've isolated 2 out of 3 out of there. Now we're going to isolate, and it must be the projector. Okay? Now you go, is it a software issue or is it a hardware issue? Okay? Is it that the projector literally doesn't work? Has a burnt out bulb? Or is it that the software in it doesn't recognize the signal that's coming over because it's a bad format? That happened, something I sent my wife today down to the high school. It's bad format. Worked at the house, didn't work at home. Okay, I mean, it worked at the house, didn't work at school. So emailed it to her and said, here's that presentation, da-da-da. Okay, so these are some of the things I'm talking about. I had A few things that I wanted to mention to all my classes today. I wrote them down after I came back the other day, and I said, we're going to have some challenges here, and I want you to be challenged, but I don't want you to be frustrated. I have been challenged and frustrated with the bigger class sizes this year. Bigger classes than I've ever had in my 25 years of teaching. Why bigger classes? Less money to education. When less money goes to education, they make cuts, and they go, we won't have as many teachers, and classes are bigger. Classes are bigger because, a teacher retires, and they say, rather than replacing that teacher who's retiring, let's just take those kids and say these 5 go to this class, these 5 go to this one, these 5 go to here, and we won't hire a new teacher, and we won't have to fire one, we just won't hire one to replace that teacher. So the classes get bigger, bigger, bigger. Mr. Frazier and I, the high school shop teacher, talked about this all the way to Spokane yesterday and back. The frustrations of having bigger classes. Okay? Especially in hands-on classes like wood shop, metal shop, drafting, computer-aided drafting, technology. Okay? That's the connection. That's why education, when it's not funded and you get bigger classes, there's less interaction. So that has been frustrating for me and challenging. I try to be challenged by it and go, okay, how can I do that? I can make up some video lessons. If kids are gone, the more kids you have in class, there's more chance that they're gone. Okay? I had a girl just in third hour who had been gone a lot lately. And I'm going over grades, and I go, you're a nice kid, but your grades are not very good. Look at this. She said, why isn't it good? Well, I've been gone. Look how many days you've been gone. We're isolating the problem here. Why have you been gone? What, are you sick? Are you sick of school? Are you staying home because you're sick of school? And she went on to say that her mom was sick. She'd stayed home, help mom with the other kids, little brothers and sisters, and help mom with cleaning the house and help mom this. Mom was out of commission, basically, couldn't do a lot of this stuff, so she had to do it for her. And I said, well, to me, that's more important. That's more important than the papers we're going over today, helping your mom out right now, okay? Another thing that's important, we had a lockdown today, okay? I'm worrying about all this other stuff, and then all of a sudden the lockdown happens, and I go, normally we've always known if there was going to be a lockdown. They've told us something, hey, we're going to have a practice lockdown tomorrow. This is the first one where I didn't know, and I thought, I never heard about this lockdown. My number one priority is the safety of the kids in this class right now. I mean, if someone comes through that door, it is my job to take them out before they get to the kids. And I take that job seriously. And I would do that. But I'm just going normally, and when it's a drill, I don't think that much about it. But when all of a sudden there's a lockdown and I haven't heard anything about it, I haven't heard kids talk about it, other teachers, might be because I was gone yesterday, I don't know. Or I don't know. We'll talk more about that in a little bit here. Do you know why the lockdown happened today? You had your hand up?
Well, all I know is that Ms. Johnson had also mentioned not knowing about it. Yeah, I don't think anyone knew.
Okay, I don't know if that was the way they wanted to do it this time, but I didn't know. I take it serious. I hope it's just a practice one, but that's my number one job. Okay, another thing in here. Subjects. There's so many different subjects in here. I have some of them listed. My classroom is kind of a segue for all of these different subjects. Any of these things you want to learn. I have, of course, books for DECA, for marketing, for advertising, for businesses, for entrepreneurship. I have CAD, computer-aided drafting for mechanical engineering, or 3D home architect for architectural drafting. Okay, and now if I can get this SolidWorks working, the one that I learned yesterday, that's a 3D modeling program where you draw it and it can make the object. 3D modeling, they call that.
Do you like animation?
Yeah, exactly. And then alternate power, okay? Alternate power being solar, wind, alternate transportation, cars. Safety. Mr. Frazier down the high school said he spends 3 weeks straight through, start to finish, 3 solid weeks just on safety. Just on safety in the shop. 3 weeks. And I thought, wow, kids get bored when I do it here for a few days. The other thing, some days we'll have the target up here at the beginning of class. Some days I have it at the end because I want to kind of save it. I like to be surprised by like the new inventions and stuff too. Kids ask about their grades in here all the time. I say you get your grades 3 ways. The computer gives you a grade, I give you a grade, and you give yourself a grade. Okay? 3 different ways. And then it's the average of those 3. This class is real easy. I mean, I look across here, great kids, well behaved. Is there anyone here that doesn't think they deserve an A? Like you go, you know, because this might, are you standing up like, or are we just shifting? Okay. Because honestly, very rarely have I ever, if ever, had a class where I go, you know, every kid in that class deserves an A. This might be the first in my 20 years of teaching, 23, that I go, every kid in there, you know, deserves an A. Now, in some of my other classes, I'm going, this kid's been gone. Most of the kids that were the problems that did not have a good grade were not here today when I went over their grades with them. I mean, I could honestly say I could give every kid in here an A, and I think that would be very fair. But next quarter, we're going to have a few little projects where I go, this is a 100-point grade. If you don't do this, you'll have a 0 in the grade book. It might be do something easy like a PowerPoint. So I say, you do a little PowerPoint presentation on this, and it'll be worth 100 points. Okay? Easy, cheesy, Japanesey. Okay? Next, I talked about the big classes. I wanted to show a little bit of that men who built US. School uniform. I'm really pushing for this right now. School uniform, as long as this could be the school uniform. Okay? As long as the Carhartts, I now have a clear thing here so I can display messages and stuff through here without my phone falling out like it was always doing. Pretty good idea, huh? Okay. I say, as long as I get to be the one that picks the school uniform, I'm all in favor of it.
I'm not.
Okay? Carhartts are maybe coveralls. The high school teacher, this probably won't happen with you guys, but the high school teacher yesterday told me that he has, all of his kids have to wear coveralls. And this happened because of an accident about 3 years ago that they are still in court for today.
What happened?
My brother had to go out and buy some for my brother's class.
Is there any questions before I stop recording here? Oh, yeah. Other rules, right here. I am recording. Here is, I'm doing it right here on the iPad. Okay? A few new rules. These are musts. Eyes on who? If I say eyes on who, then you actually look up here. Give me your eyes real quick so I can look around. Especially, I'm worried about that when, you know, safety. Stay seated. Number 1, I don't want kids crowded around here. Stay seated. If you have to get up for something, raise your hand. Or, double urgent, 2 hands. Okay? Means that's normally people associate that with, I got to go to the bathroom, I got to go now. Let's go. Ask first, are you busy? Did I catch you at a bad time? Okay? I really, last week I got really bothered by people just crowded around here, and because in most of the other classes we are doing grading, they'd bring their drawings up. I would look at their drawings with them, say what they could do better or worse, show them their grade on the computer. This is what the computer said you get, this is what I say you get, and then I have them write on their drawing packet of drawings, what do they think they deserve? Some of them said D's and F's. Honestly. Some of them said D's and F's, and I said, good. This is self-reflection. You need to realize that. Because I also try to run this, especially in my vocational classes, like a workplace. Like a workplace. Would I hire you or would I fire you? Mr. Frazier at the high school said he gives his kids, I said, I have a problem with this grading where things are